The G20 is a very important forum for all of us. We know that this is affecting majority of the global economy, trade, as well as investment.
With the humble and hospitality of Indonesian, welcome. We achieved some promising progress through multilateralism, through G20.
At the end of 2021, we've paved the road to 2022's G20 presidency, promoting Recover Together, Recover Stronger as its main theme. The first Finance and Central Bank Deputies meeting in the Indonesian presidency has established 6 priority agendas in the finance track that will be discussed throughout 2022. Now, it's time to get the wheels turning. One of the most crucial agenda in the Indonesian presidency is exit strategy to support recovery. COVID-19 has led to a severe global recession. In response, countries have taken unprecedented fiscal and monetary policies to protect the economy. These policies, along with the distribution of COVID-19 vaccines, has brought positive outcomes. Economic activities had begun to resume. Nevertheless, recovery doesn't come as a one-size-fits-all item. Advanced economies are recovering much faster than their emerging markets counterpart, while low-income countries are lagging. The different timings of exit policies can potentially bring negative spillover effect for countries. To mitigate these risks, a well-planned, well-calibrated, and well-communicated exit strategy is needed. Under Indonesia's presidency, the G20 countries and invitees will work together to create policy settings for a smooth exit strategy. Discussions will be held in the working group level as well as high-level meetings. For it is our duty to ensure that emerging from this pandemic, no one gets left behind. Recover together, recover stronger.
Hari ini ada rencana kemana? Kamu masih aktif kerja di luar ya? Masa pandemi gini memang banyak sektor yang terkena dampaknya. Cuma beberapa sektor strategis aja yang boleh beroperasi, tentu dengan berbagai syarat yang harus dipenuhi. Ada sih yang beruntung masih bisa kerja dari rumah, tapi banyak juga yang tetap harus keluar untuk cari uang, kayak kamu. Kalau gitu harus didukung dengan stamina yang kuat dan protokol kesehatan yang ketat. Kamu udah bawa masker cadangan kan? Hand sanitizer juga jangan lupa. Jaga kebersihan dan rajin cuci tangan ya. Aku gak akan bosan ngingetin kamu soal ini. Jauhi kerumunan dan hindari kontak fisik dengan orang lain. Kalau ada keperluan transaksi sehari-hari, mending pakai cara pembayaran non-tunai aja. Kan udah banyak tempat yang nyediain cara pembayaran pakai kris. Tinggal scan kode krisnya pakai aplikasi pembayaran di handphone. Lebih aman kan bayar tanpa bersentuhan? Aku sadar, meski sama-sama menghadapi pandemi, kita punya perjuangan yang berbeda-beda. Tapi dalam menghadapi virus ini, kita harus saling jaga. Jaga diri biar nggak ketularan, dan jaga jarak biar nggak menularkan sekitar. Yuk, pakai masker 2 lapis. Semangat kerjanya!
The G20 is a very important forum for all of us. We know that this is affecting majority of the global economy, trade, as well as investment.
With the humble and hospitality of Indonesian, welcome. We achieved some promising progress through multilateralism, through G20.
There are many things Indonesians are proud of. One-of-a-kind photogenic spots spread all over the nation, unique wildlife, magnificent cultural heritage, and the most recent one, the G20 presidency. Indonesia is proud to hold the 2022 G20 presidency. As a multilateral forum connecting the world's major economies, the G20 holds a strategic role in securing global economic growth and stability. Together, the G20 members represent more than 80% of world GDP, 75% of international trade, and 60% of the world population. And 2022 is the year that Indonesia plays a major role in leading the G20 discussions on various global issues. Not an easy task amid a global pandemic that still continues after more than 2 years. Holding the presidency in this unique moment where countries are struggling to bounce back from COVID-19, Indonesia introduces Recover Together, Recover Stronger as the main theme of its presidency. As a step toward an even, sustainable recovery, 6 priority agendas are introduced in the finance track. Exit strategy to support recovery, addressing scarring effect to secure future growth, payment systems in the digital era, sustainable finance, digital financial inclusion, and international taxation. Through these agendas, the Indonesian presidency aims to engage all G20 members and invitees in discussions and deliberations that goes beyond just the interest of advanced economies. Considerations also need to be put for other countries that may still be struggling to manage the pandemic. Because coming out of the pandemic, no one should be left behind. Recover together, recover stronger.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the G20 side event Digital Payment Innovation, hosted by Bank Indonesia, ASPI, PERBANAS, Aftek, and Kadin, broadcasted live from Jakarta, Indonesia. For our virtual audience, kindly pay attention to the following rules for the event. Please kindly use the virtual background that you can find in the chat box. Kindly use the username format, institution, followed by your name. And should there any problem that occurs in the Zoom application, please do rejoin the backup WebEx link provided in the chat box. Thank you for your attention, and we will start the event shortly.
Bapaknya sudah ready?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May peace be upon us. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Nama Budaya, Salam Kebajikan. My name is Sarah Wayne, and it is an honor to be your master of ceremony for today's event. Praise to the presence of God Almighty. Because of His blessings, in this very precious moment, we can all meet together at the G20 side event, Digital Payment Innovation. And ladies and gentlemen, please do allow me to greet His Excellency, the Governor of Bank Indonesia, Bapak Peri Warjiyo, the Honorable Senior Deputy Governor, Ibu Destri Damayanti, the Deputy Governors, Bapak Dodi Budi Waluyo, Bapak Doni Primanto Juwono, Bapak Juda Agung, and Ibu Aida S. Budiman. And also to our distinguished speakers, the Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy, Bapak Sandiaga Uno, the Vice Minister of State-Owned Enterprises and PERBANAS Chairman, Bapak Kartika Wirjoatmodjo, the Head of Payment System Policy Department of Bank Indonesia, Ibu Filianingsih Hendarta, the Chairman of Indonesia Toll Road Authority, Bapak Danang Parikesit, ASPI Chairman, Bapak Santoso Liem, AFTEC Chairman, Bapak Pandu Syahrir, Kadin Vice Chairwoman, Ibu Sinta Wijaya Kamdani, IT and Operational Director of BNI, Bapak YB Haryantono, and all of our respected audiences. Ladies and gentlemen, digitalization has become an important tool in helping countries to endure the COVID-19 pandemic. In the ensuring recovery effort, digitalization will continue to assume an important role in reshaping the global economy with implication to the economic and financial sector. Optimizing the benefits of digitalization and boosting productivity while addressing the potential risks and challenges it entails will be an underlying theme of Indonesian G20 2022 presidency. And before we start our talk show for today, ladies and gentlemen, we will listen to a leader's insight that will be presented from the Governor of Bank Indonesia on Indonesia Digital Payment Innovation synergy to recover together, recover stronger. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming His Excellency Governor Peri Warjiyo.
Wow, this is it. This is it. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable the Board of Governors of Bank Indonesia, Ibu Destri, and my fellows, Deputy Governors, Vice Minister of SOE, and the Chairman of Indonesian Banking Association, Mr. Kartika Wirjoatmodjo. Thank you. The Chairman of Indonesian Payment Association, Ms. Santoso, Liem, which is joining online. The Chairman of Indonesian, ASPI, Pak Pandu Sahrir. And of course, my fellows, Chairman, as well as President, as well as all of my fellow directors of all of the banks, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to the first event of the G20. We have been living 2 years with the pandemic. We recover. But now we need to recover together. We innovate. But now we need to transform and reform to be able to recover together. That's the theme of Indonesia presidency of G20 this year. To recover together, to recover stronger. With that, along the side of the meeting, this week we have a finance track meeting. We will talking about the agenda of finance track. But along with that, this week we will also have a side meeting to discuss, to showcasing a lot of good progress that Indonesia and around the world has been going, has been transforming, has been working together, has been also recover together, recover stronger. This week, we will talk about digitalization. We will talk about the finance market development, financial sustainability, as well as, of course, we talk about normalization of the policy in the world. What those aspects that we will discuss on the side meeting, on this room, and around the world. And today, we will talk about one of the reforms that we need to recover stronger, which is digitalization. Digitalization is one of the main agenda in the G20 finance track. And thanks all of you to participate in this. Vice Minister of SOE, Indonesian Banking Association, Indonesian Payment System Association, and of course, ASPI of Indonesia, and all of the fellows of bankers as financial community. Let's do it. Let's digitalize our economy. Let's digitalize to move, to recover together, recover stronger. So in my talk today, I will talk two things. First, what the agenda of G20. It is linking to digitalization. Second, how Indonesia striving together to digitalize our financial economy and inclusion. Let me have the slide, please. With the topic of Indonesia digital payment innovation synergy to recover together, to recover stronger. Next slide, please. The topic of recover together, recover stronger. Our president already trust us to recover together, recover stronger. 3 focus. How we need to work together for global health. Cooperation and vaccination. Cooperation in health. And to ensure the pandemic can be solved and then we can move our life on. The second area is about how we need to go into the green economy and green finance. And for that, we need to have a sustainable energy transition. And the third aspect, which is linking to our works and our talk today, which is digital transformation. This is the 3 areas for recover together, for recover stronger, that our President Joko Widodo instruct us to be successful G20 presidency of Indonesia. Second slide, see. And those 3 aspects, the response that we need to work together to address the pandemic. To address how can we survive and recover from the health. To work together for vaccination around the world and to move to address increasing mobilization. Sustainable economic development. The new transformation of global economy, and of course, we need to work together on that. And of course, the digitalization. On the finance track, this is one of the 6 agenda of the finance track. On the finance track, we will talking about normalization, about addressing the corporation from scaring effect. We need to, about digitalization. The 4th about finance inclusion. The 5th is about green economy and finance, and the 6th about international taxation. Digitalization is one of the main agenda at the finance track. Under the G20 finance track, we will move of the cross-border payment system cooperation. How we need to enlarge our payment cooperation on cross-border fast payment, on cross-border open API, on cross-border QR, which is also on how preparing to move forward on the central bank digital currency. Those the main agenda of the digital payment under the finance track, including the preparation of CBDC, central bank digital currency. Those my first aspect of my talk. Let's work together on successful G20 agenda. On the finance track, as well as the side meeting of this week. We're talking about digitalization, we're talking about sustainable finance, and of course, we're talking about normalization on the full week of this G20 in Jakarta. The second aspect, how Indonesia payment system innovation already moving. And this is what I would thank you to all of my fellows, the bankers, of the payment system, of the fintech, and of course, of the e-commerce. My next slide, please. Back in May 2019, we, Bank Indonesia, announced and published our vision of Indonesian payment system 2025. 10 months before the pandemic, we launched this blueprint of payment system in Indonesia toward 2025. How we need to integrate our digital economy and finance from the digital banking, fintech, e-commerce, how to integration of those through digitalization of the payment system services. And the core of those ecosystem is, of course, digitalization of banking services. And I thank Pak Kartika and all of the fellow bankers meeting my call to digitalize. And you are progressing very well on digitalization of banking services. And the third is, of course, how to ensure the integration, the cooperation between digital banking, the payment, the e-commerce to serve the need of the people, the retail payment. Those, of course, need to work together. And the fourth is ensuring innovation and risk mitigation. How innovation we need to advance further, but at the same time, the risk mitigation of those innovation, the balance between innovation and risk mitigation. And the fifth and the last point is how we need to work together for cross-border on the payment system, but of course, taking into in consideration the national interest. This is our vision that we announced in May 29. Thank goodness that we worked together 10 months before COVID, that now serving the need of the people. When COVID constrained the mobility of the people, our digitalization of economy and finance, digitalization of payment system, now serving the economic well for the people to recover. 3 initiatives that we already advancing in our digital payment system innovation in Indonesia. Let me talk the 3 of them. One is about the consolidation of payment system industry. Second, about the integration, interoperability, and also the interoperation of the payment system infrastructure. And the third, about the synergy and collaboration. Next slide, please. This is what we have been doing. We already acceleration of the consolidation of the payment system industry. We already issue regulatory reform that we have been seeing before. How to consolidate our payment system industry to form the unicorn, the Dexacorn, to be able to serve the country and the need of the people. How the consolidation of the digitization of the banking, fintech, payment, e-commerce to serve the need of the people. And Bank Indonesia already issued, working with the industry of the regulatory reform, which is integrated our payment system industry as well as also classify the industry and how the industry work together. Digital banking, fintech, e-commerce, forming the ecosystem that building the unicorn, and hopefully more Dexacorn in Indonesia. Bank Indonesia already simplify our regulatory, streamline our process, and of course, working very closely with the industry, with the Indonesian Banking Association, with the Indonesian Payment System Association, of course, with the fintech, working together to serve the need. At the same time, we are working also on how carrying out our price policy toward market practices and risk management for the payment system supervision. Thank you that we're working together to consolidate our payment system industry to be more integrated, efficient, as well as serving the need of the country and the people. Second aspect, next slide please. This is what we are already focusing. Building the digitalization of the payment system infrastructure, reforming, but not only reforming, our payment system infrastructure to be 3I, interoperability, integration, as well as also interoperation. Those actually what we do. Interconnection, interoperability, and of course, we need to ensure that. Thank you. We already, since August 29, launching QR Indonesian standard. One standard for Indonesia. Last year, 12 million. And today, we will work together for additional of 15 million user of QR Indonesian standard. On the infrastructure, we already also building a national standard for open API of the payment, SNAP, Standard National Open API Payment, which is one language for all of the payment system services. And thank you for the association to work together. We already forming open API for 42 services. And we need to work to that. One language for all of the payment services. So integration. And last December, and just last month, we already advancing our fast payment. BI, Bank Indonesia fast payment. 51 already joining. One of them is non-bank. The 50 is bank. Now, I want to thank you, all of the cooperation that we have to work together for fast payment. All of the bank and all of you already working very hard for internal transformation. Now is the time to go out, to find new client for the need of the people, and thus also integration of our payment system. QR Indonesian standard, SNAP, BI, fast payment, those that forming the core of the integration, interconnection, interoperability of our payment system infrastructure. The third initiative, next slide please, which is about the power of we. We can advance our payment system because we work together. Synergy and collaboration. Synergy, coordination. Working together to make our dream come true. Indonesian payment system digitalization, Indonesian economic and financial digitalization. We already working together for electronification for the vulnerable groups. We do that for transferring of social program of the government, saving life of many people through our electronification. We also working together for intermode transportation integration. But beyond that, we working together for micro and small, medium enterprise digitalization. Let's work together to advance this, our Indonesian dream of the payment system innovation. Let's work together for advancing our digital economy and financial. With that, let me close my remark. Last slide, please. And that's the key. 2 years we living with pandemic. we already survive, and we need to work together to strive for recover together. We already do a lot of innovation, and we need to work together to more reform and transformation of our economy. And this is what we will be having in G20 finance track. There will be a formal meeting, but 1 week side meeting to work together, not only from the policy maker of G20, but with the industry and also the people. With that, let's work together to recover together, to recover stronger. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Governor, and we request you to please stay on stage to join us for the next agenda, which is the kickoff of KRIS 15 Million New Users program. And therefore, we'd also like to invite on stage the PERBANAS Chairman, Bapak Kartika Wirjoatmodjo, to please join the Governor of Bank Indonesia on stage, and also the AFTEK Chairman, Bapak Pandu Syahrir, to please join on stage with Governor Peri Warjiyo. And we'd also like to invite on screen to join us virtually the ASPI Chairman, Bapak Santoso Liem, and also the Kadin Vice Chairwoman, Ibu Sinta Wijaya Kamdani, to please join us on screen virtually. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, together we will witness the kick-off program of 15 million new KRIS users. Once again, we'd like to invite on screen Ibu Sinta Wijaya Kamdani and Bapak Santoso Liem to come on screen. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we have also been able to successfully connect with Ibu Eni, who is a food seller in Solo, Central Java, who has already been registered as a KRIS merchant. And this merchant, in particular, sells one of Governor Peri's favorite dishes, which is lamb satay. So allow me to ask the Governor, Governor Peri Warjiyo, would you like to order a plate of lamb satay, sir?
I love to. Satay is one of my favorite dishes. And one of the best satay which I found is in my hometown, which is from Pasar Gawok Market. Can you invite the seller of Bu Eni to come here to sell satay for me and for all of us?
Very well, sir. Please give a big round of applause. And very well, sir, we will order 1 plate of satay to be made and delivered, but after the transaction is successful. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to ask Mr. Governor, as well as the Chairman of ASPI, the Chairman of PERBANAS, Chairman of AFTEK, and also the Vice Chairwoman of Kadin, to please first prepare your cell phones.
Yes.
For we will do the transaction using KRIS
Sugeng
on
Indah,
the
Pak
screen.
Gubernur. Pembayaran sate menggunakan KRIS ya, Pak?
Oh ya, benar ya. Ini Bu Eni ya. Ya, terima kasih Bu Eni. Pakai KRIS ya, selalu
Silakan,
pakai
Bapak.
KRIS. Oke, kita scan ya. Silakan.
Udah berhasil, Bapak. Matur nuwun.
Wow.
Gentlemen, may I have a big round of applause for the successful transaction and the kickoff of the program of 15 million new KRIS users. And we'd like to ask the gentlemen to please kindly stay on stage and on screen, for we will be having a photo session. There will be 2 photo opportunities on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Another one. 1, 2, 3. And next, we would also like to invite the Honorable Board of Governors to please join the photo session online, and also the Assistant Governor, Ibu Filianingsih Hendarta, to join the photo session on stage. Once again, we'd like to invite the Honorable Board of Governors to join the photo session online to prepare yourself. And again, we'll take 2 photos for the photo opportunity. In 1, 2, 3. Once again, 1, 2, 3. And thank you to the Governor of Bank Indonesia, the Board of Governors, ASPI Chairman, PERBANAS Chairman, AFTEC Chairman, and Kadin Vice Chairwoman. You may now return to your seats. And ladies and gentlemen, please do join me in giving a warm round of applause of the launch of the kickoff program of 15 million new CRIS users. And we would also like to thank the Governor of Bank Indonesia, Governor Peri Warjiyo. Please give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Governor Peri Warjiyo, for your attendance at today's event. And thank you also, Governor, for sharing your wonderful insights with us this morning. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to thank Governor Peri Warjiyo. Gentlemen, indeed, it has been a remarkable journey ever since CRIS was first implemented in January 2020 up until now. It has been used by more than 15 million merchants all across Indonesia, dominated by the SME merchants. In addition, CRIS has also been able to promote the acceleration of national economic recovery. And this year, the initiative of 15 million new CRIS users hopefully will be able to support not only the interconnection and interoperability in the payment system, but also the integration of digital economy and finance in Indonesia. And ladies and gentlemen, please do join us to support hashtag Ayo Pakai Kris, or Let's Use Kris movement, to participate in the digital transformation and to accelerate the recovery of the national economy. And ladies and gentlemen, our next agenda is the Panel Talkshow, Indonesia Amidst the Challenges of Digital Payment, Collaborative Approach to Recover Stronger. In this talk show, each association will be delivering key highlights as a response to Bank Indonesia's vision and strategic initiatives. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our moderator, Bapak Wahyu Wiwoho.
Selamat pagi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Wahyu Wiwoho. I will be conducting today's talk show from session 1 until session 2 this morning for the next couple hours. We have 2 sessions. In the first one, we will be discussing the challenges of digital payment in accordance to the initiative of collaborative approach to recover stronger, in line with our G20 presidency's theme, that is, recover together, recover stronger. Without any longer, allow me to introduce you our distinguished guests. First, we have PERBANAS Chairman, Kartika Wirjoatmodjo, Patiko, represents PERBANAS as the National Bank Association to share the current condition, the opportunities and the challenges in Indonesia's digital payment system. Good morning, Patiko. Please join us. Thank you, Pak. And next we have AFTEC Chairman Pandu Syahrir. AFTEC is Indonesian FinTech Association that has a main role in digital payment system along together with banks and also non-banks and other industry. Mas Pandu, please join us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have other participant or guests who join online. We have ASPI Chairman Santoso Liem. ASPI is the Indonesian Payment System Association where the banks and also non-banks are joining together in order to accelerate digital transformation in Indonesia payment system. Good morning, Pak Santoso, apa kabar? And last, we have Kadin Chairman, represented by the co-chair and general coordinator, also chairwoman of the B20, Sinta Kamdani. Kadin is Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industries that also has a big role on helping its members, especially the SMEs, to move to digital payment system. Good morning, Bu Sinta. Right, ladies and gentlemen, Bu Sinta also joined us online. And without any longer, we only have 20 minutes on the first session. So I will start directly the discussion from Pak Santoso, who joins online. Pak Santoso, selamat pagi Pak Santoso. ASPI as a self-regulatory organization, or SRO, how could ASPI support the central bank, the Bank of Indonesia, Santoso, in the implementation of digital transformation in the digital payment system, Pak Santoso? Pak Santoso? Pak Santoso, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning, Pak.
Good morning, Pak. SPI is fully committed to support the implementation of a strategic initiative from Bank Indonesia to accelerate the digital transformation in Indonesia payment system. We actively involved in the implementation of BSPI, Blueprint Indonesian Payment System, mostly in 3 ongoing strategic initiatives, such as open payment, retail payment, and regulatory reform. For open payment, ASPI with a representative key player in industry have developed standard to improve onboarding process and develop seamless transaction for better user experience, and to support player to reduce time to market. Expect more collaboration between bank and also the fintech. For retail payment, 2 key initiatives to drive cashless transaction. Standard KRIS is the key to expand payment point and primarily focus on micro segment for them to survive during pandemic time. Currently, we have opened 15 million merchants who can accept KRIS payment from different payment instruments across Indonesia. To support new campaign, 15 million users, we developed new features like KRIS custom mode, KRIS cross-border, remote Kris for cash withdrawal, deposit, and transfer. On second initiative, BI Fast, which is a new online retail payment infrastructure introduced by BI. We develop micro and technical guidance implementation and propose alternative to a small bank who wants to participate on BI Fast. For regulatory reform, we provide feedback how to reduce approval time to get license for new player or license to enhance payment features. ASPI works together closely with the payee to payment is secured and being audited by reliable party. That's the key of our role.
Yes, all right. Pak Santo, as we know that ASPI members are the banks and also the non-banks, the fintech, and also the other industries. How ASPI make all the things sure in terms of the collaboration between the members?
Yeah, it's our vision to improve the role of our member in payment system in Indonesia to become more efficient, reliable, and inclusive. To facilitate the dialogue and aspiration from the member, we establish multiple groups, which consist of representatives from banking, fintech, switching company, and others members. The working group cover not only the business aspect and develop of new features or standard, but also cover communication as well as risk management. Through this working group, we foster collaboration among ASPI members to find the best approach and the best for payment industry.
Pak Santoso, in your opinion, what is the biggest challenges between the members in order to collaborate more to create the ecosystem is getting stronger to digital transformation in digital payment system?
Yes, you know that most of the members have different priority, different technology,
yes,
and also different resources. This is a big challenge to integrate them, to follow the one standard in industry. That's the big challenge.
All right, okay, thank you, Pak Santoso. I'll move to Pak Tiko. Pak Tiko, as we see, there are a lot of different resources, as Pak Santoso says. How PERBANAS see the main challenges and the opportunities in Indonesia payment system?
Thank you, Pak Wahyu. Let me first congratulate BI for the event today and also its push for the transformation of the digital payment in the past 2 to 3 years. I think there has been a major push and change in the payment industry in the past couple of years that basically democratize the whole payment ecosystem. I think there are at least 4 to 5 players which are very important in this industry right now. First is the incumbent banks, who are most of them currently turning into hybrid banks, and then the newly upcoming digital banks, which is recently coming to the market, and then the fintech player under Pak Pandu Association. But don't forget also the merchant aggregators, people who are actually doing the merchant acquiring, and also bank agents. So these 5 group of industry players actually work together to improve the speed, the efficiency, and also the reliability and security of the whole payment system. PERBANAS, as an incumbent in this business, try to also change the way we look into payment. So payment used to be very integrated into the core of the banks. But now payment is already becoming an open system, so open ecosystem. So that's why most banks already change the way it looks into the ecosystem and change the concept of closed banking into an open banking. So the first wave of change is how to actually work together with ecosystem player, be it e-commerce, be it the other ecosystem player, to actually open our system through API and microservices so that our system can be exposed to the players. But of course, this has to be guarded with the proper security and also with the proper reliability. So therefore, in the past couple of years, there's been a lot of investment in the banks, a lot of capex to improve the core banking system, to improve the reliability of the API and microservices, and also to make sure that the investment in cybersecurity and risk management is also properly in place. I think the way we look at it right now is bank will become a key player as long as they are moving into a hybrid bank model and open ecosystem. So what I mean by hybrid bank, some banks actually create a digital mobile apps that is actually becoming more like a super apps that is open to other payment module. So it's not only just closed mobile banking, or even some banks created its own digital bank. So take for example, BCA already created Blue, and then BRI already created Raya, and so on and so forth. So there are many ways bank participate in this ecosystem by creating a new player and also creating a new product.
So the traditional banks, the incumbent banks, should transform to the hybrid banks.
Yes, the hybrid banks and also open banking. So that's the key. But of course, this not come in a easy way, because there has been a tremendous transformation inside all of the banks on how to actually improve the way they produce the digital apps itself. Because to produce a reliable, speedy, and efficient mobile banking right now, or a open API right now, it requires a very robust development of the application itself, and also a strong delivery in terms of the security. So therefore, every bank, especially the big banks, now investing a lot in not only changing the way they develop the application, changing the organization, so make it an agile organization that able to compete with the other fintech player in a more speedy way, and also trying to change the way it organize its core banking system.
Pak Tiko, what about the activity, the administration activity between the banks and the customers? As we know that there are still many activities in banks that using paper instead of cashless.
So the pandemic actually bring a different angle, because the speed of the adoption of digital transaction is exploding in the past 2 years. So I think between 2015 to 2019, the speed of adoption is accelerating, but in a medium way. But then in the past 2 years has been exploding. So therefore, I think for the banks now, there are two challenges. First, how to retire the old model. For example, ATM. How do we see ATM in the future? Will ATM still relevant in the future? Will we phase it out so that there is no other cash transaction in public areas? And then also the way we look at acquiring business, because every bank also mostly have acquiring business, using the POS, EDC. So it is going to be still a competitive advantage, or is this becoming a commodity?
And how to deal and reach the customers in rural areas.
So the customer now actually the most beneficiary of the changes, because customer has many different way of paying. So if you remember 5 years ago, there are probably 3 ways of paying: by direct transfer, debit card, or credit card. So those are the 3 main way of actually transferring money or paying things. But now there are other way in which you can actually use wallet, you can actually use digital apps, and so on and so forth. So that's why for customer, for them, it's really which one is the most easiest and the most cheapest for them to use. And different segment have different preferences.
Exactly, right. Thank you, Pak Tiko. I'll move to Mas Pandu. After the newcomers, the new players, we have bunch of fintechs in Indonesia. Today we can say they also new players, but also the portrait of the digital transformation especially in digital payment in Indonesia. How do you see AFTEC plays in its role in supporting the implementation?
Well, two things first. First, I want to thank Bank Indonesia for hosting this first side event. Number two, most importantly, to Bu Destri, Bu Filia, also to the women here, happy Valentine's Day. Probably most important, it's the first day, start with love. And one of the things we are doing today is talking about financial innovation. So I'm very happy we can discuss both first thing in the morning. But when you talk about innovation, I think things have progressed so massively. When we first started 5 years ago, we only had 6 members. Today we had 360 members. And
360
members.
Wow.
And we're an SRO under OJK, and we work closely with Bank Indonesia, with OJK, Ministry of Finance. And one of the things we see, this has become a daily part of life. And what Pak Tiko mentioned about COVID, it has accelerated digital adoption in our daily lives. So for example, today I take the Valentine's Day analogy. I think all the men here are sending flowers, using GoPay, Gojek, or perhaps Shopee or other ways of
NFT flowers.
Or FT flowers of expressing love, right? And this is important because I don't want people to forget, even though we're taking a very serious thing, things at home is also as equally serious. But otherwise too, when you're seeing it the next 3 to 5 years, and we're seeing it from the members, what everyone is trying to do is to make things far more efficient for the everyday customers, right? To those that are unbanked, they want to become underbanked. Those that are underbanked become bankable, right? And what's amazing is all the people here are the movers and shakers are trying to elevate the lives of the everyday Indonesian using financial technology. So if AFTEC, we're part of that solution. What we're trying to do is collaborate together with all the stakeholders to promote innovation, right? And to create efficiency all across the value chain within the financial services industry. So that's what AFTEC is trying to do.
Mas Pandu, how do the AFTEC members see the incumbent banks, the traditional banks, on this system, on this ecosystem?
We are like the small little brother. The banks is our big brother. And we want to learn so much every day, and we would love to have the big brother to teach us, to make us successful. That's essentially what it is, right? Because in a way, what we're doing is try to elevate the life of society. And this works hand in hand with banks, because at the end of the day, the biggest movers of capital are still the large financial services. What we are trying to do is to elevate the game, make more efficiency across the value chain. So again, we see this as collaborative. The fact that we're having this event, and Bank Indonesia, thank you for inviting us to be co-hosting this event. I would just say it's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win. I'm sorry, one thing, Bu Sinta, I'm sorry if I have not say Happy Valentine's Day to you because you're not here. But she's my chairwoman in Kadin, so I have to say that to her as well.
Okay, thank you, Mas Pandu. I'll move to Bu Sinta. Bu Sinta, good morning, Bu Sinta.
Morning, and I have to say also wishing Pak Tiko and Pak Pandu their happy Valentine's and all of you. I'm glad Pandu brought it up because how nice it is to feel, being here and waiting for my flowers from my husband.
All right, happy Valentine's to all of us. Bu Sinta, how the business enterprises, the Kadin, especially the SMEs, on utilizing the digital payment system until today?
Yes. So first, I also would like to appreciate Bank Indonesia for organizing this. I think this is very timely, and I think I would like to appreciate all the continuous effort that Bank Indonesia is doing, and especially on the digital payment system. Kadin, as you know, is umbrella of all businesses in Indonesia, and I think digital transformation is definitely a very big part of what we are doing. However, we also see that there are still a lot of challenges, and I think the enabler are very, very important in moving forward on this digital transformation. I would like to perhaps address some of the how we can enhance this digital environment. And first, I would say Kadin always look at that the digital infrastructure gap are still there. Not only that there are significant infrastructure gap, but also communication network accessibility and such ability to afford also smartphone, computers, internet to enable digital payments, particularly in a rural area. I think there's a huge inequality in mobile internet access around the Indonesian archipelago, and this is also include some of our members, which is a lot of them are 97% are SMEs, and especially in Maluku and Papua with less than 60% of mobile internet coverage. And the second, we also need to look at the digital capability gap. I think the workforce also shows gap in skills like professional digital skill. This include development, operation engineering, robotic process automation, user experience, automated and non-automated testing, and cybersecurity and many others. And I think the fundamental digital skills and digital literacy, including working knowledge and also digital devices and online application, awareness of this personal cyber safety are very, very crucial. Also, as you know now, the use of social media and online communication. I think Indonesia produces relatively few highly skilled STEM graduates, and only 10% of top Indonesian tech company executives says that local tech graduates are well prepared for entering the workforce. So more 75% of leading tech company in Indonesia said that hiring local talent is still difficult, and only 50% say that retaining local tech talent is difficult. So I think the link and match is still very important, and this is what something that Kadin is also prioritizing. The third is obviously challenge on the Indonesia and unbanked population and cash-based society. I think data shows that the unbanked citizen in Indonesia account for estimated 66% of the country population of 275 million people. And I think this unbanked lack access to financial product and services, just as transaction, payment, saving accounts, credit and insurance. This alone will demand a groundbreaking initiative to boost financial inclusion. So these are some challenges that, and as you know, Kadin is also tasked to chair the B20 this year. And I think with the B20, we are also addressing some of the digital infrastructure and inclusivity. So some of the issues that we are also addressing in the digitalization task force, including also, identifying the fundamental digital infrastructure component that support inclusion and digital entrepreneurship, and this got to do a lot with our SMEs and how digital entrepreneurship policy recommendations should primarily be aiming to assisting the MSME and ensuring also safety in digital spaces. I think this is also very important. We want to also have financial inclusion for women and MSME and leverage digital to scale up more of our MSME.
Is there any expectation from Kadin, Bu Sinta, from the services, from the service providers and also the regulators, in order to help them, in order to help the SMEs growing their business through the adoption of digital payment?
I think there, I would say 4 components that need to be addressed. I think this includes, the first is affordability. I think although Indonesia has been among the world top market for online shopping, internet access costs in the country are almost still the highest in the ASEAN country. And as such, I think only financial well-off individuals can access the internet, which is an obstacle to developing countries' digital economy. I think despite the high internet price in Indonesia, the quality also is still quite poor, with an average fixed broadband of 17 Mbps. So this is compared to some other countries in ASEAN is still low. The second is service availability and reliability. I think the national payment system network in rural area also has also need significant upgrading. And of course, this is due to the rapid growth of the digital users in Indonesia. And the third is the customer and business skill as well as talent development.
Yeah.
I think training and education serve as critical step in the development of digital services. And the last is supporting the regulation. I think a digital payment can help reduce the shrinkage and I think in MSME especially, for example, loss due to theft, vandalism, and so forth. And I think increasing customer outreach across the whole archipelago.
Right, thank you very much, Bu Sinta. Ladies and gentlemen, we only have a very limited time for the first session of the talk show for today.
Can I just add one? Do you mind if I just add one thing?
One minute, Bu Sinta, 1 minute.
Yeah, just what Kadin, some of the programs that Kadin is doing, because I think it's very important. I think Kadin is also now looking into how we can look into MSME digitalization partnership, because we are looking into the recovery together, recovery stronger, and G20. I think this is very, very important. We are focusing on 3 regions in the Buleleng, West Manggarai, and West Timor. Also, Wiki Wira Usaha, we are looking into multiple parties that have also launched capacity building and partnership program to help the MSME. And also Kadin digital identity. I think this is interesting in taking to accelerate digital transformation through the Kadin digital identity to help collect data, to classify MSME and connect it to the OSS. I think this is very important. Also, we have one more program, the last program, which is the Indonesia Trading House, which also help assist MSME for the export market online platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bu Sinta. That is such a brilliant move from Kadin. As we know, there are still a number of challenges ahead in order to make Indonesian digital payment system or industry to get stronger. However, we do believe with our competence, with our strategy, with our innovation, along with the innovation from the stakeholders, from the players, we can be the leader among the front, and hopefully we can join forces in optimizing the digital transformation of payment system to strengthen the economy. Thus, we can achieve our ultimate goal, recover together, recover stronger. Thank you once again for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Mas Pandu, Pak Tiko, Pak Santoso, Bu Sinta, thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Back to you, Sarah.
Thank you, Bapak Wahyu Wiwoho. And thank you to our distinguished speakers, the ASPI Chairman, Bapak Santoso Liem, the PERBANAS Chairman, Bapak Kartika Wirjoatmodjo, AFTEK Chairman, Bapak Pandu Syahrir, and Kadin Vice Chairwoman, Ibu Sinta Wijaya Kamdani. And gentlemen, and also Ibu Sinta, we request your online presence as well, Pak Santoso, for we will have a photo opportunity, a photo session on my count of 3. Once again, gentlemen, are you ready on stage? And to Bu Sinta and also Bapak Santoso, we kindly invite you to please join us on screen to take a virtual photo together. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Once again, 1, 2, 3. Please give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for our first talk show for this morning. Gentlemen, you may now return to your seats. And ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 pandemic has accelerated the adoption of digital solutions in Indonesia's payment system. As part of Indonesia Payment System Blueprint 2025, launched by Bank Indonesia in 2019 to navigate the national payment system in the digital era, several key initiatives have been successfully implemented under the synergy and collaboration with industry players and also all stakeholders in the payment ecosystem. These strategic initiatives support Indonesia's economic recovery, particularly micro, small, and medium enterprises, or MSMEs. This is to increase their resilience during the pandemic. And ladies and gentlemen, next we will show you a video that highlights the achievements of the strategic initiatives by Bank Indonesia to date. And afterwards, ladies and gentlemen, we'd also like to inform you that we'll be having a Kahoot quiz for you with interesting prizes based on the video. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy the video.
Bermula dari goresan tangan dalam suatu perjalanan tugas negara pada suatu masa. Hikmat ilahi dan buah perenungan panjang, impian besar yang mengubah paradigma. Dari asa, berikhtiar menjadi karya nyata. Konfigurasi ekonomi keuangan digital Indonesia yang terintegrasi, sanggupkah terwujud di 2025? Teringat dahulu, di masa kanak-kanakku, namun tekad tetap menggebu, membuatku terus melaju. Dari pinggiran desa, barangkali semua bermula. Rasa ingin menjangkau dunia, bagai layangan menjangkau angkasa. Kemudahan transaksi menjadi kuncinya. Sebagai katalis tercapainya kemajuan bangsa. Cepat, mudah, murah, aman, dan handal. Ku yakin ini bukanlah hayalan. Berawal dari suatu impian besar, kini tiba saatnya untuk menyelaraskan langkah dalam mengarungi perkembangan ekonomi keuangan digital. Standar Nasional Open API Pembayaran hadir untuk menepis batasan dan membuka ruang kolaborasi bagi para penyedia jasa pembayaran. Terbang dan berpendarlah Snap. Bawalah mimpi anak bangsa mengangkasa, menepis gulita, menyatukan beragam benang dan jaring menjadi satu asa bermakna. Aktivitas ekonomi dan transaksi pembayaran yang cepat dan aman tidak mungkin terwujud tanpa adanya dukungan teknologi terkini yang mendukung interkoneksi Open API pembayaran. Kemajuan teknologi informasi dan komunikasi mendorong transformasi digital sistem pembayaran oleh perbankan maupun fintech. Perkembangan tersebut di satu sisi mendorong hadirnya ragam spesifikasi Open API pembayaran, namun di sisi lain membawa tantangan tersendiri sehingga diperlukan standar teknis dan tata kelola yang memadai untuk menciptakan interkoneksi industri sistem pembayaran nasional. Bank Indonesia mendorong inovasi dan transformasi digital melalui Standar Nasional Open API Pembayaran sebagai pengejawantahan Visi 2 dan Visi 3 Blueprint Sistem Pembayaran atau BSPI 2025. Standar Nasional Open API Pembayaran, SNAP, hadir untuk menciptakan industri sistem pembayaran yang efisien dan inovatif untuk mendorong integrasi, interkoneksi, interoperabilitas, serta keamanan dan keandalan infrastruktur sistem pembayaran. Standar Nasional Open API Pembayaran mencakup standar teknis dan keamanan, standar data dan spesifikasi teknis, serta pedoman tata kelola. Tahun 2020 menjadi momentum awal pengembangan perumusan standar melalui penerbitan konsultatif paper Standar Nasional Open API Pembayaran. Bank Indonesia bersama Asosiasi Sistem Pembayaran Indonesia membentuk Working Group Nasional dari perwakilan industri. Tahun 2021 menjadi fase penting inisiatif Standar Nasional Open API Pembayaran dengan dimulainya fase pengembangan serta piloting sebagai persiapan menuju implementasi penuh pada tahun 2022. Untuk mendukung implementasi, BI merilis developer site yang akan menyediakan aplikasi pengujian untuk Open API Pembayaran. Standar Nasional Open API Pembayaran yang berlandaskan semangat sinergi inovasi bagi negeri akan mendorong interkoneksi, efisiensi, dan keamanan yang tinggi dalam implementasi Open API Pembayaran. Dengan adanya fondasi hukum yang kokoh, kolaborasi dan sinergi antar regulator, asosiasi, dan industri, maka implementasi SNAP akan mengakselerasi terwujudnya perluasan ekonomi digital demi pemulihan ekonomi negeri. Terbang dan berpendarlah Standar Nasional Open API Pembayaran. Jalinlah beragam benang dan jaring menjadi satu asa bermakna. Menyatukan Nusantara bahkan hingga lintas batas negara. Berakar dari tradisi kebersahajan. Jangkaulah seluruh mimpi anak negeri dengan penuh harapan dan keyakinan.
Currently, digital technology has revolutionized all aspects of life and presents many opportunities, including in realizing the efficiency and effectiveness of public services, supporting transparency and governance, as well as optimizing local government revenue and fiscal health for accelerating and expanding the digitization of government transactions. As a form of synergy and collaboration from the government and authorities, on February 13, 2020, a Memorandum of Understanding on the coordination of the acceleration and expansion of regional government transaction electronification by 5 ministries and institutions was signed. Regional digitization commitment is further strengthened by the issuance of Presidential Decree No. 3 of 2021 concerning the acceleration and expansion of Regional Digitalization Task Force, P2DD Task Force, as a forum for collaboration and synergy at the national level, and P2DD team as a forum for collaboration and synergy in the regions. The Presidential Decree on the P2DD Task Force confirms the synergy of the steps taken by 8 ministries and institutions members of the P2DD Task Force. To strengthen the national legal basis in implementing regional digitization, the P2DD Task Force has launched regulation package as derivative provisions of Presidential Decree on the P2DD Task Force consists of Decree of Coordinating Minister for Economic Affairs and Regulation of Minister of Home Affairs, which underlie the implementation of P2DD and the formation of P2DD team. Accurate mapping of regional digitalization profiles is the foundation in encouraging the effectiveness of P2DD policy in the regions. ETPD Index will map the performance developments and stages of P2DD in the regions and serve as a reference in comparing the achievements of P2DD team. In order to integrate P2DD information channels, the P2DD Task Force has developed P2DD Information System as a channel for information, socialization, service, and reporting of ETPD to help stakeholders obtain information about P2DD. The development of P2DD Information System is expected to further encourage the improvement of the quality of integrated, safe, and effective public services. As an appreciation for the extensive effort of the regional government in advancing the P2DD program, the P2DD Task Force will carry out the P2DD Championship program. The awarding is carried out in order to increase the motivation of the regional government to further increase innovation and expand regional digitalization. P2DD implementation will also be supported with the issuance of regional government head regulations to establish TP2DD in provinces and districts or cities. The establishment of P2DD team is expected to accelerate the implementation of digitization in regions through support for payment service innovations, assessments, and monitoring of digitalization developments in the regions. At the end of 2021, 100% P2DD teams have been formed in 542 regional governments all over Indonesia, with empowered synergy and collaboration between ministries and institutions, both in national and regional, through P2DD Task Force and P2DD teams. We can improve efficiency and optimize local government revenue by accelerating and broadening of regional government electronification to make it Indonesia advanced.
Digitalisasi, inovasi, disrupsi, baik global dan nasional, merupakan bagian dari perubahan. Namun, apakah perubahan harus menjadi alasan bagi kita untuk berhenti? Tidak. Menyambut mitra Indonesia dalam menghadapi perubahan, BI Fast. Sebagai sistem fast payment terbaru dari Bank Indonesia, BI Fast siap melayani kebutuhan masyarakat terhadap pelayanan transaksi digital yang lengkap, real time, terjangkau, 24/7, aman, dengan menggunakan nomor handphone atau email sebagai alternatif nomor rekening. Cepat, kapanpun, dimanapun, seketika, terjamin. Didukung oleh teknologi handal, keamanan ketat, dan harga yang terjangkau. Dimulai dari individual credit transfer pada Desember 2021, dilanjutkan bulk credit, direct debit, dan request for payment pada tahapan berikutnya. BI Fast akan meningkatkan inovasi dan inklusivitas terhadap perkembangan ekonomi di seluruh pelosok Indonesia dengan memastikan terjadinya sinergi dengan industri sistem pembayaran. Perubahan akan selalu terjadi. Disrupsi tidak dapat terhentikan. Namun sebagai rakyat Indonesia, kita akan terus bangkit dan menghadapi semua tantangan dengan berani. Bersama menuju satu Indonesia yang maju dan sejahtera. BI Fast, sepanjang waktu, seketika. Simbol menyerupai sayap, merepresentasikan kegesitan dan pergerakan cepat, terdiri atas 3 buah sayap yang melambangkan 3 objective function pengembangan BI Fast. Warna biru merepresentasikan BI dan sekaligus sesuatu yang dapat dipercaya dan kehandalan. Warna merah merepresentasikan nasional dan sekaligus energi, semangat, dan kepercayaan diri. Warna gradasi melambangkan kecepatan berupa semburan. Perpaduan seluruh warna melambangkan BI Fast merupakan persembahan Bank Indonesia untuk mewujudkan ekonomi dan keuangan digital menuju Indonesia maju.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Kahoot quiz. And ladies and gentlemen, to join in the quiz, please do scan the QR code that is displayed on the screen to join and play the quiz, because we have interesting prizes ready for you. Once again, we will be having a Kahoot quiz with questions based on the video that we have just watched. And for you to join this quiz, please do scan the QR code that is on the screen. There will be several questions, ladies and gentlemen, and you may choose the answer. The fastest and the correct answers will get the highest points. Good luck. And here is the QR code, ladies and gentlemen, for you to scan to join the Kahoot quiz. The questions will be based on the video that we have just watched together, and the fastest and the correct answers will get the highest points. And we have interesting prizes ready for you who will be winning the first quiz of the day. Good luck to all who are participating in the Kahoot quiz, for we have prizes that is ready to be won. And once again, if you would like to join the quiz, please do scan the QR code that is on your screen. And there will be several questions, and you may answer the questions quickly and correctly, because those who answers the questions correctly and the fastest will be getting the highest points in order to win. Once again, I wish you all good luck on the Kahoot quiz. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are still focusing and playing the Kahoot quiz because we have prizes waiting for you. And all you have to do is scan the QR code that is on your screen, and you may answer the question that is based on the video that we have just watched together, the key initiatives of Bank Indonesia. And please do answer the question correctly and quickly, because those who answers the question quickly and correctly will get the highest points. Ladies and gentlemen, we have all these prizes waiting for you. So please do scan the QR code if you have not joined our Kahoot quiz. And now we will start the quiz in just a moment. So please do once again prepare yourselves to answer the questions that is based on the video. There you go. This is the first question of the quiz. Remember to answer them quickly and correctly, because those who answer the questions quickly and correctly will get the highest points. First is, what is BI Fast? And this is the scoreboard. And the second question is, what are the advantages of BI Fast? This is the correct answer. A, real-time, 24/7, secure, and using proxy address. Did you get the answer correctly, ladies and gentlemen? And this is the scoreboard. Remember to answer the questions quickly, because the one who answers it quickly will get the highest points. The third question is, what are included in the alternative account numbers for transactions? Remember to answer them quickly to gain the highest points on our Kahoot quiz, ladies and gentlemen. And the correct answer is phone number and email. And this is our current scoreboard with Betty on the highest with 2,942 points. The fourth question is, what developments has BI Fast carried out in December 2021? There are 4 options for the answers. Please do answer with the correct one quickly, ladies and gentlemen. And the correct answer is individual credit transfer. And we'll be seeing the current scoreboard after the fourth question. First position is still with Benny at 3,927 points. The fifth question is, who can use BI Fast? There are 4 options. Is it A, MSMEs, B, millennials, C, Indonesian society, or D, all choices are correct? And the correct answer to the question is all choices are correct. And the scoreboard still has Benny at the top with 4,911 points, followed by PLK_Nugraha. The sixth question is, what are the opportunities of digital technology in local government transactions? Is it A, decrease the number of taxpayer, B, increase the number of human resource involved in the process, C, increase the efficiency and effectiveness, or D, limit the transaction channels? And the correct answer is C, increase the efficiency and effectiveness. Once again, we'll take a look at the scoreboard, and Benny is still winning the scoreboard with 5,895 points. The 8th question is, the commitment of regional digitalization is strengthened by the issuance of presidential regulation, which is it A, Presidential Decree number 3 of 2021, or is it B, Presidential Decree number 4 of 2021, or Presidential Decree number 5 of 2021, or Presidential Decree number 6 of 2021? The correct answer is A, Presidential Decree number 3 of 2021. Betty is still leading the scores with 6,877 points, followed by Timmy, who has moved up the scoreboard with 6,873 points. Next, what is the task force name to ensure the digitalization can run accordingly in all regions? Is it A, PP2D Task Force, or is it B, PD2D Task Force? C, is it PDD2 Task Force, or D, P2DD Task Force? The correct answer is D, P2DD Task Force. And we can see here, Benny still leads with 7,860 points. And we can see next, our 10th question. At the end of 2021, how many P2DD team in regions have been formed? Is it A, 25%, B, 50%, C, 95%, or is it D, 100%? And the correct answer is D, 100%. And we can see here on the scoreboard, Benny still leads with 8,843 points. And then it's Timmy with 8,842 points. Next question is, Bank Indonesia is encouraging digital innovation and transformation through A, Payment Open API National Standard, B, National Standard, C, National Payment Standard, or is it D, Payment Open API National Integration? And the correct answer is A, Payment Open API National Standard. And we can see here, we have a new leader on the scoreboard, PLK Nugraha, with 9,829 points. Next, the Payment Open API National Standard is aimed at creating A, is it a fragmented payment system, or is it B, an efficient and innovative payment system industry? And the answer is B, an efficient and innovative payment system industry. And we can see here we have another leader on our scoreboard with Timmy with 10,813 points, ladies and gentlemen. Next, the Payment Open API National Standard includes the following, except is it A, Data Standard and Technical Specification, B, Registration, C, Technical and Security Standard, or is it D, Governance Guidelines? And the answer is B, registration. And we can see here, Timmy is now leading the scoreboard with 11,796 points, ladies and gentlemen. And this question is, when was the SNAP consultation paper launched? Is it A, 2020, B, 2021, C, 2022, or is it D, 2023? And the answer is A, 2020. And let's see, for the scoreboard is led by Timmy with 12,781 points, ladies and gentlemen. And our 15th question, as a means for testing conformity to the API standards, Bank Indonesia provides, is it A, developer side, B, e-licensing, C, BI Fast, or D, quick respond Indonesian standard? And the correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is A, developer side. We'll take again a look at the winners. Here they are, ladies and gentlemen. The first place is Timmy with 13,765 points, followed by Benny with 13,760 points, and PLK_Nugraha coming in third with 13,751 points. May I have once again have a big round of applause for all the winner of the Kahoot quiz this morning. Once again, congratulations to all the winners. And ladies and gentlemen, we will move on to our next agenda for today, where despite the significant growth of digital channels and instruments in the past few years, cash transactions still remain dominant. Collaboration from all players in the payment ecosystem, banks, fintechs, e-commerce, and regulators is necessary to drive Indonesia towards a more cashless and digitally integrated economy. Data privacy and financial literacy become challenges to be adjusted with higher pace of digital transformation in the payment industry. And it is more important than ever to prepare Indonesian MSMEs to survive, recover, and also thrive after a prolonged pandemic. Continuous digital innovation will become the focus of transformation journey in the payment industry to ensure the customers' changing needs are constantly being efficiently met while simultaneously managing the optimum level of security. Our next agenda, ladies and gentlemen, is casual talks on interconnectivity and interoperability in Indonesia payment system with the theme Key Initiatives to Drive Cashless Payment. And ladies and gentlemen, after the session, we will again have another Kahoot quiz with interesting prizes awaiting for you. And the topic related to the casual talk, so please do pay attention to the casual talk that we will be having in just a moment. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our moderator, Bapak Wahyu Wiwoho.
Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Wahyu Wiwoho. Before we start our second discussion, a casual talk show, allow me to give you a very brief background regarding to the topic will be discussed, that is interconnectivity and interoperability in Indonesia payment system, the key initiatives to drive cashless payment. Despite the significant growth of the digital channels and also the instruments in the past few years, cash transactions still remain a dominant base of the local economy, and it requires collaboration from all players in the payment ecosystem to drive Indonesia towards a more cashless. Not to mention, data privacy and financial literacy become another big issues to be tackled by the stakeholders. Right? That is the background, and now allow me to introduce you our distinguished guests. We have a very special guest who already joined with us today in this second talk show or casual talk show. I will greet His Excellency Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy, Sandiaga Uno. Pak Sandi will give us an overview of Indonesian tourism outlook in 2022 and how the tourism sector utilizes the digital payment system so far. Pak Sandi, apa kabar Pak? Good morning. And next we have...
Good morning, Mr. Wahyu Wiwoho. You're always very handsome, and I really like your batik Very, very nice batik. Mr. Wahyu.
Thank you very much, Pak Sandi. Apa kabar? Good to see you again. Pak Sandi, thank you for joining us. Next, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Head of Payment System Policy Department of Bank Indonesia, Filianingsih Hendarta. Bu Filia will share us the strategy from the central bank on accelerating the digital payment transformation. Good morning. Bu Filia also joined with us online. And our next guest is IT and Operation Director of Bank Negara Indonesia, Bapak YB Haryantono. Pak Haryantono will tell us on how bank leverage its position in the payment ecosystem with the emerge of fintech companies and also digital banks and other players. Good morning, Pak Haryantono. And last will accompany me on the stage, a chairman of Indonesia Toll Road Authority or BPJT, Ministry of Public Works and Housing, Danang Parikesit, who will share about how BPJT manages the journey of electronification, digital payment in toll road. Good morning, Mas Danang. Right, thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, our distinguished guests for joining us online and also on the stage. Mas Danang, apa kabar Mas? Thank you. The first one I will go to Pak Sandi, Pak Menteri. My first question is maybe a bit out of topic, but still relate on our main topic. How was Mandalika, the GP exercise?
Well, thank you, Pak Wahyu. It's always a pleasure to have a session with you. And before I answer Mandalika, I would like to thank Ibu Fili, Pak Haryantono, and Prof. Danang to make himself available for this great talk. And we at the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy are so excited with this digital payment innovation seminar with the empowering of Indonesia small medium enterprises and tourism sectors with digital initiatives alongside my deputy Pak Nia and Mbak Hanifah, the director for access to finance. So Mandalika overall the test was a success. There are some improvements that we need to make. First is on the track itself, and also about preparations for accommodations and transportation. But overall, it looks good, and we are very excited for this recovery of the sectors propelled by events such as MotoGP and G20. Thank you, Pak Wahyu.
All right, thank you, Pak Sandi. I also heard some gossip that Mandalika will be the place for the summit of the G20 next November. Is it correct, Pak Sandi?
Mandalika will host some of the G20 side events, but obviously we have selected Bali in November as the primary venue for the G20, but Mandalika will host many of the G20 side events that focus on sustainability as well as some of the empowerment program that is actually happening at the same time with the focus on tourism that is much more personalized, customized, localized, and smaller in size.
Pak Sandi, in terms of the digital payment innovation and system in Indonesia so far, can you give us an overview of Indonesian tourism outlook regarding how they use the digital payment system until today?
Well, I've been saying that there are three big pillars where I see the next 20 to 30 years sectors will evolve around. First pillar is sustainability. The second pillar is digitalization, and the third pillar is definitely this, because of the ongoing pandemic, is health related. Now, on the digitalizations and technology, I think there are so many potential aspects that sprung and accelerated because of the technology-driven the revolutions. But there are, I would say, three main focus that are open for, I guess, a lot of opportunities, at least in the next 1 to 2 years. First is cybersecurity. Second is fintech. And third is the one that we are now discussing, digital payment. Because as you know, many of the payments are still within the scope of our currency. So I am thanking the ASPI, Asosiasi Sistem Pembayaran Indonesia, to bring up this event as the finance track discussions for the G20 side event. And we at the tourism and creative economy space are very, very excited because the indicator for tourism and creative economy for 2022 are looking at a momentum for revival. And one thing that we are pushing is the concept of cleanliness, health, safety, and environmental sustainability. Cleanliness, health, and safety, you need digital payment. And with foreign tourists coming in, hopefully reaching at beginning about 2 to 3 million tourists coming in 2022, they would demand more digital payment that is in line with where the latest and greatest of technology within the payment system. Second, I would say we are focusing on attracting foreign investments and foreign exchange earning up to 3.3 billion from 2020, and now we are basically recovering to around between 400 to 700 million dollars last year, and continue to increase with the number of workers totaling about 35 million workers within the tourism and creative economy. So payment system, including salaries, including their transactions, because we're adding about 500,000 new jobs every year, should be within the realm of digital payment. And I'm really excited. I look at Prof. Danang there because I passed toll road using still the traditional way of tap. But sooner or later, we don't really even have to tap. We just pass like in many other toll roads in the developed world, and we get our bank account deducted. And this is, I think, will be how our GDP, our economy will continue to improve. And I think it will have an impact in terms of contributions from the tourism and creative economy sectors, which will contribute in combinations between 11 to 12%. And we look to add another 3%. So by 2025, we believe that due to the opening of the border, the implementations of travel bubbles and existence of major events, the sectors will recover and create more jobs.
Pak Sandi, in terms of the pandemic situation that we're still facing until today, how the tourism sector recover from the pandemic, from this very bad situation?
We have to innovate, we have to adapt, and we clearly need to push for further collaborate or collaboration. So we believe that the 5 super priority destinations, Lake Toba, Borobudur, Mandalika, Labuan Bajo, and Likupang, would be the focus of how we could create a much more diversified destinations on top of Bali, Riau Islands, and Jakarta. But we need to also transform the industry to embrace a new level, which we call a gold standard: cleanliness, health, safety, and environmental sustainability. Where we see the locomotive for job creations, it will be the creative economy. We believe that with innovations, creative economy will bring us big data approach, how we could improve the destinations to have better tour packages, product attractions, accessibilities, and activities. And with sustainability, we need to adapt. We have now carbon calculator, Pak Wahyu. So if you travel to destinations tomorrow, I'm gonna go to Likupang in Manado. I will know how many carbon I am responsible for my trip. And I'm going to be offered carbon offsetting activities once I arrive in destinations. This is part of new normal, and it's adaptations because the pandemic accelerate our focus on sustainable recovery of the sectors. Campaign using digital payment and cashless is also part of adaptation. And collaborations, we want to collaborate with local government, with private sectors, with institution of higher learnings, universities, also communities, as well as media. So the tourism recovery programs will focus on destinations, revitalization, and safeguarding. Domestic demand recovery with value-added products. International demand recovery will also take place with the events starting this year. So I'm so hopeful that there will be increase by way of agreement for travel bubble framework or vaccinated travel lane, clear flow of international tourists. This is clearly a good sign that would allow us to recover together and recover stronger.
Speaking of which, about today, this year event on Mandalika MotoGP, for example, do you have any calculation from the government? How big is the money we can get from the event, the next month event?
Well, on the pre-season test, we are calculating that 11,000 jobs are actually created, and the impact to local economies will reach up to 500 billion rupiah. This will definitely increase in the next month race, which is going to take place 18th to 20th of March. We believe that jobs could be created up to 50,000 in that particular sectors within that particular month. But we believe a long-lasting sustainable impact, because I think this will improve the value chain of the tourism and creative economy sectors, not only in Lombok and West Nusa Tenggara, but also reaching other parts of Indonesia.
The 10 priority of the tourism sector, right? Pak Sandi, and next, what is the recovery key strategy in tourism sector, as well as the key challenges, especially in adopting the digital payment system? Because as we see, we're still facing some problems, like such as electricity in the rural area, and the connectivity in the rural area, and also the digital literacy.
You touched the nail on its head, whereby we believe infrastructures will need to be in place for a successful digitalization program. And digitization is the effective ways for micro entrepreneurs, small, medium enterprises to scale up And I've been to the destinations that it's just absolutely magnificent view, but you don't get signals and you just don't have the same type of experience. There has been an increase in digital consumers by 30%, 37% due to the pandemic, and we continue to be able to provide access in terms of infrastructure, accessibilities, and also attractions and amenities. The tourism village, for instance, we have this tourism village financial literacy in tourism destinations program because some of this tourism village, they have great economy products, they have great understanding of QRIS and digital payment, but some of those tourism village have lack of digital connectivity. And the financial management classes involving Bank Indonesia stakeholders and Link Aja for the use of QRIS have been one of the center program that we have been pushing. We also increase the use of digital payments by micro, small, medium enterprises in terms of how they could create a much better credit worthiness. I think in the long run, it will benefit everybody in terms of submitting requests for financing to fintech or financial institutions such as bank like Pak Haryantono. And last but not least, we need to continue to support with marketing campaign. And the marketing campaign that we're supporting is Di Indonesia Aja, meaning that you have so many destinations in Indonesia. There's $11 billion.
We have Toba, we have Likupang, and they are all ready for the next movement of the digital payment system, including the SMEs. Right. Thank you very much, Pak Sandi, for joining with us. Joining with us. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, and thank you, and good luck for the event, Pak Haryantono, Bu Pili, and Prof. Danang, and all the rest of participants. To conclude my remarks here, I would like to discuss potential area of operations that could be implemented by empowering Indonesian SMEs and the tourism sectors with digital initiatives. Good luck for everybody. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Stay safe and stay healthy. Om Santi Santi.
Thank you very much. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. His Excellency Minister of Tourism and Economy, Kreatif, Sandiaga Uno, for joining us. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll move to Pak Haryantono. Pak Haryantono, good to see you, Pak. Speaking of which, about the bank, how the bank manages the transformation on digital journey on digital technology, and what is bank's strategy to cope with the pandemic through digitalization?
Yes, thank you, Pak Wahyu. Pak Sandi, Bu Pili, Pak Danang, selamat pagi. Very good morning. I think, first of all, I would like to congratulate Bank Indonesia for conducting this event today, the event on the G20. I think, Pak Wahyu, when we are talking about the digital transformation during this pandemic stuff, I would like to see the pandemic is really driving us into digital transformation as acceleration. When we see what during the pandemic, it's on both sides. One is the demand side, and the second is the supply side. The demand side itself, we see that the e-commerce transactions grew into 400 trillion rupiah by the end of 2020. That's a huge. It's almost doubling from the pre-COVID situation on 2019. The second, other than the e-commerce itself, is the digital-based banking transaction volume. This grows until 40,000 trillion rupiah at the end of 2021, which is increased around 46% compared to 2019. That's the national data. when we saw at the BNI itself, in our company experience, we also experienced a dramatic increase of mobile banking active users. Now it reached 10.8 million users compared with only 4.8 million users at the end of 2019. So it's more than double the number. By the end of 2021, our digital transactions represents more than 98% of the total financial transactions. Whereas the transaction within the branch is only less than 2% of it. Yeah, so the brick and mortar channel is only contributing less than 2%. So this is showing on how the digitalization is really critical during this pandemic situation. So we see that during this people, our customer is seeing that digital transaction is more contextual. So on the bank side and the supply side, we see that now digital channel becoming a hygiene for financial institution, as we need to serve it as a basic function for our customers. Yeah, and also now banks are also doing a lot of digital features it is its customers. Launching digital banks, launching a new digital banking positioning, something like that. So BNI is also no exception to it. Even during these pandemic situations, we are launching a digital opening up using digital process, that is biometric, and this is also driven by the government program. When government is the pre-employment program, we need to onboard new customers with more digital things because we need to have physical interaction. So pandemic is really driving digital.
But Pak Haryanto, what about the customers in the rural area with the programs that have been made with the digitalization?
Yeah, I think it is no exception. Because banking in the rural area itself make them contextual, either through a fully digital services by self-service, or we used to serve them using our branchless banking. So we have agent bankings that help us doing all these service to our existing rural customers. So that's the positioning that we are trying to serve our customers, Pak Bayu.
Right. Thank you, Pak Haryanto. I'll move to Bu Filia. Bu Filia, good morning, Bu. Thank you for joining us, Bu Filia.
Hello, Pak
Hi, Bu.
Wahyu.
Hi, Bu. Ibu, I'll start the question from the strategy from the central bank, from Bank Indonesia, to accelerate the digital transformation in Indonesia, especially for a retail payment system, and how it becomes key enabler for economic recovery post the pandemic.
As you know, Bank Indonesia has maintained a pro-growth policy stand, directing a full array of monetary, macroprudential, and payment system policy mixed instrument to support the national economic recovery. And of course, this is in close coordination with the government. And Bank Indonesia, we are persist in accelerating payment system digitalization and integrate the national digital economic and finance. And we know that in 2021, we focused the implementation of the Indonesian payment system blueprint, the ASPI 2025, on at least three priorities. First, regulatory reform, and second, the retail payment system infrastructure, and the third is the payment system standardization. And first, in terms of the regulatory reform, policy transformation is the key to consolidate the national payment system industry, while we also streamlining the licensing procedure And to that end, we have strengthened the Bank Indonesia payment system regulation. We issue the umbrella regulation by the end of 2020 and follow with the regulation of the payment service provider and also the payment infrastructure provider on the July 1st, 2021. And it is also one of our main interests to develop the integrated, interoperable, and also interconnected the payment system infrastructure. Why we do this? Because we want to support the national digital economics and financial ecosystem. We know that a notable development is the modernization of the retail payment infrastructure through the fast payment. This is the global trend adopted by most of the central bank in the region also. In Indonesia, we call it BI Fast. So in December 2021, we'll adopt and go live, implement the BI Fast. What is the BI Fast? BI Fast settle the transaction real time and operate 24/7. We can call it a never sleep. It's like a New York City, and which was built to support the integration and consolidation of the national digital economic and finance. So we hope by implementing the BI Fast, we can provide public with the fast, affordable, convenient, secure, and also reliable payment system. And we use our tagline, we call it Cemumuah. So in bahasa Indonesia, cepat, mudah, murah, aman, dan handal. So on top of it, Bank Indonesia also launched the SNAP, National Open API Payment Standard. This is to standardize the digital economic and financial ecosystem. So through the SNAP, we hope that this is the national standard for protocol and instruction that facilitate open interconnection between the application in processing the payment transaction. So the standard was prepared not only by Bank Indonesia, but this is the collaboration with the Indonesian Payment System Association or ASPI. And through the SNAP, we intend to create the sound, competitive, innovative payment system industry. So we hope at the end of the day, we can provide the efficient, secure, and reliable payment system services to the public. And in addition to that, we also will have the CRIS extensification. This is the national standard for the QR payment. So last year we have 12 million connected merchant using CRIS. So this is our target. And now we have already have more than 15 million merchant using the CRIS. So Bank Indonesia together with ASPI also used several incentives such as extending the 0% merchant discount rate for micro businesses. This is until the end of June this year. And we also increased the CRIS transaction limit from 2 million per transaction to 5 million per transaction. Why we increase the limit? Because we want to increase the CRIS transaction in the middle segment and large segment also, and start from March 1st this year, we will again increase the limit transaction of CRIS to 10 million rupiah. So this is to support the consumption and also the need for the larger transaction. And on top of the 3 priority, we also have the payment electronification program. Later on, Pak Danang will explain more detail about this program, particularly on transportation mode. But for the payment electronification program, we have 3 pillars here. The first, we help and coordination with the related minister for the social aid program Bansos. We call it a digital Bansos 4.0, and
Digital
also the
Bansos, right.
transportation mode for the implementation of the multi-lane free flow and also the integrated transportation mode. And lastly, for the regional government financial transaction, we work together, strengthen synergy through the government, through the acceleration and expansion regional digitalization task force, together with our 46 regional branches of Bank Indonesia.
Yeah. Bu Filia, there is an interesting picture, video, what we have seen earlier this morning, where the street vendors, sate kambing, favorite one from the governor of Bank Indonesia, Pak Peri Warjiyo, they are using kris. How the central bank make things sure all the SMEs, all the micro businesses are using the kris?
Sure. Yeah, we will continue to develop the integrated, interoperable, and interconnected payment system infrastructure. So, as you know, this morning, Governor has already launched our target in 2022, how we create together with the banking and also the fintech to create the 15 million new user of kris. So together we will provide also in Bank Indonesia not only the target, but we also will strengthen the policy. As I mentioned before, we increase the limit target of the transaction, and we also, as you know, we have already launched the BI Fast. So BI Fast, through the BI Fast, we hope that various implementation policy to be prepared. The BI Fast is open for all participation, bank and non-bank. Of course, if they don't want to join, it depends on their readiness to join, because BI Fast is the back-end infrastructure. So they have the bank and the participant have to prepare on it. But we have the option to providing the infrastructure independently or jointly or sharing, and we also stipulate this is also helping the MSME, because the transaction cost, Pak Wahyu, if you do the transfer, I don't know whether you have already tried the BI Fast, but you only need to pay the transaction cost 2,500. So this is very helpful for the MSME. And also, some bank, so 2,500 is the maximum price the bank can charge for their customer.
For
but
any
they can
transaction?
charge less than 2,500.
Right, okay.
And some of it even give it free.
Oh, yeah. Wow. All right. Thank you, Bu Filia. And ladies and gentlemen, other practical example of digital payment is on the toll road. Mas Danang will share us on about that. Mas Danang, so what is the strategic plan of Indonesian toll road to support the digital payment?
Thanks, Mr. Wahyu. Let me just give you a walkthrough of some numbers first, because I think it's give you a background on how important this digital transformations means to us, the toll road operators, toll road companies, and toll road authorities. Just before the President Jokowi take into power in 2014, the length of our toll road is merely less than 900 kilometers. Today is 2,400 kilometers.
Only less than 10 years.
900 kilometers. So today is 2,400 kilometers, which is increasing almost 3 times. And the ultimate goals for our toll road operations is 1,800 kilometers. So it's a huge demand.
By the year of?
By the year 2035. So, and by the year 2024, at the second terms of Jokowi, we are expecting to have 4,700 kilometers. So in order to do that, there is no way that we could do it the same way as before. So the only way is to move further than what our traditional and conventional approach. So we, in the 2019, when I took office in this toll road authority, I used 3 words: transformation, innovation, and modernization of our toll road systems. And today we have transactions 3.6 million per day, and the expectation is that this year, despite the pandemic and the decreasing demand for transport, we still have a 14% increase. So by the end of this year, we expect to have 4.1 million transactions per day. So it makes us I think the biggest consumers of the chip-based e-money. Today, as we are accounted for 75% of chip-based companies. So I think the transformation, the digital transformation is a natural for us because we need to move faster in construction, and more importantly, we have to be more efficient in the toll road operation, including the transactions. So this is the big demand. The prediction this year is that we will handle almost $2 billion transaction. And one of the key feature of our transformation, our modernization, is the one that's mentioned by Ibu Fili, which is the multi-lane free flow projects, where we have cashless and also contactless transactions throughout all the toll road systems.
Is there any toll roads that's still using cash until today?
No, not in the 2017 we stopped using the cash payment. So we have since 1978 to 2017 the cash only payment, but from 2017 onwards, we are using the cashless, and we want to go a bit further to not use card anymore. They use the technology so-called global navigation satellite systems, where you are recognized by using your mobile phone as the electronic onboard unit to recognize your travel pattern and the way that the toll operators, toll road companies will deduct your money from your e-wallet.
Even though some drivers are still using cash to pay to other driver to get
that is the
card.
Again, this is the importance, because the digital transformation should goes along with the capacity increase and the knowledge increase. So it's why we are going to first launch the commercial operation of this cashless, contactless systems at the end of this year. So the big work is not on the technical side, but on the educational side, both for the retail customers as well for the corporate customers, notably the truck drivers and truck companies, because they are our main customers.
So we don't have to tap the card.
No. I mean, since December, in some of the part of Indonesia, we're going to start mostly in Jakarta. To just go along the toll road without having to tap their cards to the machine. So our satellite.
How does it work from the vehicle to the gate?
No, basically, the satellite will recognize your mobile phones as your identifiers.
So we just need a mobile phone.
Mobile phone, and also we have to install the applications on that mobile phones. And it will recognize you and your type of vehicles. So that the engines will instruct the e-wallet to deduct the payments that is stored in your e-wallets and your e-money, basically. So I think this is a new for everybody, and I think we and China are the first two countries that will implement the global navigation satellite system, GNSS systems, for retail customers like private car users.
What is the application that need to be downloaded on the smartphone?
We call it Cantas. It's an Indonesian application. Cantas is Indonesian words for smart and for very diligent. So the idea is that we are moving into more intelligent process in our transaction systems, so that the customers can use this application and this mobile device as what we call the electronic onboard unit.
So we don't need any other devices.
No,
to
no.
be put on the
Basically,
dashboard.
you have to register your vehicles into these applications, and it will connect your vehicles identification and the persons to the electronic and registration identification numbers and the police, and also making sure that you pay first of all, because I think we have also an issue of law enforcement for the non-paying customers, to make sure that they pay if they are failed. Because at the end of the day, you don't need the gate in our toll gates. So basically, you can go just pass through without any restrictions. So that's why I think we have to integrate between the payment system, the enforcements, and also the security of the systems. One of the particular feature of our system is to work with the BSSN, the National Cybersecurity Agency of the Republic of Indonesia, to ensure all the data, personal data, is also protected.
What if I don't have any money in my bank account or my e-wallet?
Right.
Can we use the credit card?
Sure. I mean, I think in the guidance of the central banks, the Bank Indonesia, we are asked to open up our the so-called back-end systems to allow the multi-payment systems. So either you can have an access to your bank accounts, or you have to can have an access to your fintech services that you have or you acquire, as well to the credit card operation. So I think some countries, they only have a credit card, like in Japan.
Yeah.
But basically,
even in Malaysia.
Yes, but basically what we do is that, again, as a guidance from the central banks, we should be more open and friendly to all ecosystems. Today, this morning, we learned from the central bank governors, the openness, the inclusiveness. That's what we are trying to achieve. And I know that there are a lot of players in this new financial ecosystems, and we would like to have them on board as much as possible.
All right. Bu Filia, how the central bank, BI, prepared the infrastructure and the regulation as well for the digital payment in toll road?
Yes, of course, we work together with Pak Danang. So we have a coordination. We just provide and try to work together with the bank and also the fintech, as mentioned by Pak Danang, how we will pay the toll road. Because right now you cannot pay in cash for the toll road. You have to pay through the digital payment. And later on, we also support Pak Danang with the model of the payment system. So we will support and we will work together with ASPI. And not only, we will also enlarge the provider, not only the bank, but also the non-bank payment system provider. So definitely, we will support the program because, as I mentioned before, we have the payments electronification program. So in this case, for the transportation electronification, it's not only for the toll road, but we also encourage the integration of the payment system and also the data in the transportation sector. So all of this will help the related minister if they want to establish or determine the policy and the regulation based on the data, and also for the bank and for the non-bank if they want to provide the further services, the innovative services, they also can use the data.
All right. I'll move to Pak Haryantono. Pak Haryantono, speaking of which, of the pandemic in the context of the prolonged situation, the pandemic situation, Pak Haryantono? How could bank contribute in preparing Indonesian micro businesses, the SMEs, to survive and thrive during this situation?
Okay, Pak Wahyu, thank you for the questions. I think we understand altogether that MSME is playing a big contribution to the economy. We are talking about maybe the number of GDP contributed by the percentage of people contribute to MSME is 60%. And also, MSME is contributing to the 97% national. SME is important. I think this pandemic itself, for sure, bank is not just doing all this by ourselves. A program on how we support the market. In the short term itself, we have the banks are being a channel to the government program, fighting the loan restructuring program, disbursement of course, to help the MSME grow the business during this pandemic. And also, we are channeling on the loan subsidy rate, interest rate subsidy for the MSME. That is channeling for government social program, or we call it PERBANAS. That's on the short term during this pandemic. In the long term itself, the banks like BNI are trying to help MSME can grow themselves better businesses. So we understand that MSME have multiple issues, say talking about lack of capital, access to financials, access to market of buyers, and also lack of capability in the productions and product quality. So in this case, we are trying to help on the SME, providing beyond banking service to them. So we are collaborating with many parties, with providing help to SMEs starting from onboarding them, providing a consultancy for them, helping them how to operate well in their product, creating market access to access to licensing process, something like that. So we are trying to do this by using digitization. We have a program, a platform that we call it Expora. Expora is a platform that we developed specific for the SME to enable them to do export of their product. So we are onboarding those SMEs that has potential of their product being sold overseas, being exported. We help them with the financing. We help them with the consultancy, collaborating with experts from universities. We collaborate with government institutions, permission for them to do all the export process, as well as access to the buyer's ecosystem. So these are the things that we are helping in the long term. Within 6 months of our program, it has been dispersed around 2.4 trillion of loans to these SMEs. So these are the things that we are doing for the long term purpose. Thank you, Pak.
Right. Thank you, Pak Haryantono. I'll move to Bu Filia again. Bu Filia, one of the biggest challenges need to be tackled by all the stakeholders and also the central bank, especially, is the data protection of the customers. How do you answer this key question, Bu Filia?
Yes, definitely. This is true. The data protection is very important. That's why in our regulation, even though we still don't have the Private Data Protection Act, but we in our regulation, the payment system provider regulation and also the payment infrastructure provider regulation, we have already put the regulation there. So we require the provider really protect the customer data and use it properly. So we have already regulated in our regulatory reform. And you are right that not only the industry, but we are in Bank Indonesia, we also, the central bank, we also aware of that, and we also try to implement the policy that really protect the customer data. So we also have a risk management, and is also addressed. So in the licensing requirement, if the provider, the industry want to apply the licensing to be a payment system provider, we also require them to fulfill the risk management. So it's not only the legal risk, the operational risk, the liquidity risk, but also the data protection. So this is, we aware this is very important for the data protection.
All right. Pak Haryanto, how do you answer this issue? How BNI answered the issue of the data protection of the customers?
I think when we are talking about banks, naturally are very paranoid on protecting. This is due to the for sure regulations and as well as the DNA of the bank itself. So for sure, we are always been protecting using our cybersecurity, cybersecurity capability on protecting how our systems are well protected from tampering or hijacking like that. The second is through our protection of the data, governance within the banks itself, how we protect customer data, who can have access and who can share the data. Those are the things that we are doing. On every process, even if talking about collaboration with external, banks always applying governance on how well to protect the data of our customers. So those are the things is being embedded into our as well as other than regulation, there are a lot of standards that bank have to comply with. For etc. When we are talking about in the card industry, is a PCI DSS compliance, which protects the data of our customers as well. So I think there are multiple ways that banks always been protecting customers' data.
All right, thank you. I'll move to Mas Danang again about the digital transformation, the digital payment in the toll road in Indonesia. What is your expectation from the banks, such as from BNI or including the central bank, in order to maximize the capacity in the digital payment in the toll roads?
I think one of the most important components in our introduction of this kind of technology is to build the whole ecosystems. Banks, financial institution is one of the key players in our transaction systems. Another key players, of course, our partners, which is the toll road companies. They have to be confident to deal with this new forms of transaction systems. Then we have also the transaction providers, which is another company. We tendered out the process 2 years ago, and I think this is also one of the key players. The other one is, as I mentioned earlier, the traffic police, which holds all the vehicle registration data and also process the law enforcement. So all of these players should be put in one tables, and we should ask them to sit down together and do coordinations. That's why I think when it comes to banks and financial institutions, payment companies, we have to make sure that they are all at the same frequency. We can have a mutual interest to make sure that the toll road transaction process can be done smoothly and of the high security. I think Ibu Filia and also Mr. Haryono from BNI has clearly explained that they are pretty confident. If they are confident, I think we are also very confident. We have to make sure that our partners and toll road companies also confident with the arrangement.
Do you think should there be any other regulation
I don't think that we need to. I think the fact is that we need to deregulate some of the regulations to make it more flexible. That again, banks and non-banks are having the same playing fields and participating in our transaction system. I think we don't need more regulations. I think what we need is understanding and the protocols to operate our transaction system. I think this is one of the key issues. And the whole idea is digital transformation is actually deregulations, right?
Yeah.
They have self-regulating principles. We don't need, as far as the government, the authority is allowing them to have the protocols among the players. I think it's going to be the best for us.
Right. Thank you. Pak Haryantono, is there any specific program or strategy in order to make all the things are in the digital payment in the toll road from BNI, Pak Haryantono?
Thank you, Pak Wahyu. I think, first of all, we see that the toll road payment is a public service. So for sure, we as industry players, as the bank here, will support this. Yeah. So all together, all the banks and the industry payments institutions are forming our effort, collaborating into providing these public services. So how are we going to develop this? It is a collaboration of every of us, because we need to provide the systems that we built all together, to provide all the customers, all the passengers, all the cars moving into the toll road. And we are providing all the payment capability, top-ups, and other payment services into the platform itself. So the banks will have all the payment institutions will have connectivity with the new system, and the industry itself, as a being bank, will also playing a role on developing part and integrations of the payment system within the road itself.
Right. Okay. So the BNI also will provide the IT software, or how do we say it, Mas Danang, on the new payment system,
I think,
without tapping any card again and indicate.
Yeah, I mean, all the technicalities need to be done and put in place, right? But I think what I would like to highlight is that today we have almost 4 million transactions per day for the toll road. But I think what is important is that the transaction in toll road is only part of the whole story. The other story is, of course, this extension systems, extension services.
Yeah.
We have rest areas, which also utilize the non-cash payments. When you buy fuels, petrols, and diesel fuels, you also need a non-cash transactions. When your car is broken down, for the workshops, repairs, you need also non-cash transaction. So I see that transaction in the toll road is only a part of the whole story. The extension service would go beyond the transaction in the toll road, should be looked as the whole ecosystem. So it's why I think I'm very hopeful that our colleagues from Bank Indonesia, colleagues from the banks, and colleagues from the Association of service providers of the financial services could come along and help us on how to deal with that.
Okay, right. Thank you very much, Mas Danang, Pak Haryantono, Bu Filia. Thank you for today's event, for today's casual talks. And maybe I can sum up the session for today, that from today's discussion, we understand that integrated interconnectivity throughout the payment system, the digital payment ecosystem, are the keys to wider adoption of the digital payment solution in our country. It creates more business opportunities and broaden customer base, which will be beneficial not only to payment service providers, but also to customers and also the merchants, so that we could recover together once again, recover stronger, as it brings efficiency to our payment system. Thank you very much once again, ladies and gentlemen, Mas Danang, Pak Haryantono, Bu Filia, and also all the audiences. Thank you very much. Back to you, Sarah.
Thank you, Bapak Wahyu Wiwoho. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, can I have a big round of applause for our moderator and also our distinguished speakers? To the Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy, Bapak Sandiaga Uno, the Head of Payment System Policy Department, Ibu Filianingsih Hendarta, the IT and Operational Director of BNI, Bapak YB Haryantono, and also the Chairman of Indonesia Toll Road Authority from the Ministry of Public Works and Housing, Bapak Danang Parikasit. Once again, I would like to invite to all the speakers and also our moderator to please take a place on stage, for we will be having an opportunity to take a virtual photograph together. And I'd also like to invite on screen to our virtual speakers to please join the photo opportunity session. There will be 2 photo shots, and I will count to 3 for the first one. 1, 2, 3. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, 1, 2, 3. Once again, can I have a big round of applause? Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you to our speakers and moderator. You may now return to your seats. And ladies and gentlemen, as I have mentioned before, it is now time for the second Kahoot quiz of the day. And the questions for the Kahoot quiz is based on the casual talks that we have just followed, ladies and gentlemen. So now I would like to invite you to please join in the Kahoot quiz by scanning the QR code that is on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. There will be a set of questions, and you may choose the answer quickly and correctly because we have prepared a number of interesting prizes for you. Once again, we'd like to invite you, ladies and gentlemen, to the audiences to join our second Kahoot quiz of the day. As you can see, there is a barcode that you can scan right away on your screen to join in the second Kahoot quiz, and the questions is based on the casual talk that we just had. Once again, we would like to remind you to prepare yourself because we have prepared several questions related to the casual talks. And for those of you who answer the questions correctly and quickly, will be getting a higher point. Remember, the ones who can answer correctly and quickly will get higher points, and this can be accumulated to find the winner for our second Kahoot quiz of the day. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, what you see on screen is a barcode for you to be able to join our second Kahoot quiz of the day. And we'd like to remind you that this will start in 2 seconds. 3, 2, 1. The first question is, what is the name of Kris feature that can be used by travelers from Indonesia to scan and make payment in other countries? Is it A, Kris CPM, B, Kris Cross Border, C, Kris MPM, or is it D, Kris TTS? Remember to answer them quickly and correctly to get the highest point. And the correct answer is B, Kris Cross Border. And we'll be looking at the scoreboard. The highest score is from Dwi Listia with 984 points, followed by Anna PA. Next question is, by the end of 2021, Kris has been widely adopted by almost 15 million merchants. Which are the benefits by using Kris? Is it A, convenient, B, speeding up transaction, C, low cost of deployment, or is it D, all answers are correct? And the correct answer is D. All answers are correct, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, let's take a look at the scoreboard. The highest score is from Dwi Listia with 1,970 points, with PLK underscore Nugraha moving up to second position. Next is, in December 2021, BI has launched a new national retail payment infrastructure, facilitate real-time 24x7 called as A, BI Kris, B, BI SKN, C. BI Fast, or is it D. BI RTGS? Now, the correct answer to our third question is C. BI Fast. Once again, let's take a look. Dwi Listia is still at the top of the scoreboard with 2,956 points. Next is following are the key advantages from integrated interoperability and interconnectivity in payment systems, except A. Consumers and merchants payment more efficient and effective. B. Broaden base of consumers of payment providers. C. Increase the investment cost. Or is it D. Create more business opportunities? And we'll take a look at the correct answer, which is C. Increase the investment cost. And we take a look at the scoreboard. Dwi Listia is still leading with 3,956 points, ladies and gentlemen. And the fifth question is, what is the new contactless open road tolling system that targeted to commence soon in Indonesia? Is it A. Electronic road pricing, or ERP? B. Freeway toll collection, or FTC? C. Single lane free flow, SLFF? Or is it D. Multi-lane free flow, or MLFF? And the answer is D. Multi-lane free flow, MLFF, ladies and gentlemen. And now these are the winners. The first winner is Dwi Listia with 4,943 points, followed by Irham Andrian, coming in second with 4,928 points. And in third place, we have Inisa with 4,925 points. Congratulations to all the winners of our second Kahoot quiz of the day. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite you to enjoy a video of performing act presented by BCA dancers. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this is the BCA dancers.
Indonesia, negeri seribu pulau, etnis, ritual, hingga tarian, menggambarkan keunikan setiap tradisi, memajemukan dalam satu kesatuan, bangsa yang utuh, berdaulat. Bhinneka Tunggal Ika. Indonesia boleh berduka di tengah pandemi ini. Namun semangat menyatukan negeri melalui seni dan inovasi akan pernah terhenti. Recover together, recover stronger.
And ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause for BCA dancers. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of today's event. On behalf of the committee, I, Sarah Wayne, thank you for your active participation, and we also apologize for all the shortcomings. Please do stay safe and healthy, and we wish you goodbye. Sampai jumpa, terima kasih. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.